Hi, Michael.
You take attendance, Tom?
Yes, attendance is taken.
Here you go.
Okay, any public comment? All right, treasurer's report. Tom?
Sure.
All the bills have been paid. There was a 3-month delay in paying the phone bill because of the personnel issue that's been resolved, but I did not get an up-to-date, year-to-date financial. I don't know if Tom did.
Yeah, I can read that, Tom, when you're ready.
Go ahead, please.
Beginning balance for the month was $25,488.43. Expenditures were Frontier Communications for the phone, $93.38. Silvermine Press for the maps was $638. Silvermine Press for the calendars was $517, and Silvermine Press for the Shellfish permits was $442. So expenditures totaled $1,690.38. Ending balance coming into March, $23,798.05.
Thank you. And that's really, we have no outstanding invoices or vouchers out there. So that's pretty much what we have, just a little bit under $24,000.
Okay. All right, secretary.
Everything's been delivered to Mola Brothers of Fisherman's World. They've got the new permits. They've not got the new maps, both in bilingual. So they've been doing their thing. The chart calendars have been dropped off there also. As soon as the boat docks open up and the attendant goes there, I'm gonna drop off 2 packs at the boat attendant over at Vets Park, so he has them, or she. And I'm dropping off 1 packet in the lobby of the police department. If anybody else has somewhere else we should put them, please let me know and I'll drop them off also.
Tom, I could use some at the health department.
Okay, I'll drop some off to you. I may not be able to come up, but I'll drop them off at the desk and I'll call you when I did. Because to get in, I see next door. Yep, not a problem.
Thanks.
Hey, Tom, we didn't receive our fraction of the payment from Fisherman's World for the tight calendars that they advertise on. So I was just wondering
I haven't talked to them yet because we didn't do that last year. And we forgave all of the vendors, the boats, the seed people for all of their, for the clamming permits and the seed permits. And Fisherman World was in the same boat. They had a very lean year. So it's just my thought that if we were going to forgive all the boat, the captains, et cetera, should we forgive them, especially if we didn't charge them last year. And the prior year, I didn't know that was pre my being the treasurer. So I wanted to discuss that. I don't know how much it is. How much were the tie calendar? What was that? The $515 price, or was that the
$517?
Which one? $517. So they normally paid half of that.
That was my understanding.
Okay, so it'd be around $260. My feeling is, and I'd leave it up for discussion. If we forgave everybody else for paying, should we also forgive them because they had just as lean a year with the COVID as everybody else? But that's just my opinion. I'll leave it to you guys.
So you're saying, Tom, we should do it for 1 year or for 2 years, 21 and 22?
Well, last year we never asked them. 2020 we did not ask them. For 2021 is what we're asking them for, and that's what I would ask that we forgive them. As far as last year's goes, we never went to them in January of 2020 and said, hey, by the way, you owe us whatever the fee was. To go back a year, I think that would be unfair.
Hey, Tommy, so in other words, even the clammers too, we let them go. So maybe we're looking for a motion not to charge them any costs for the year 2021, but 2022, we'll get back on task and start charging them. I make that a motion. Does that work?
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
So you're saying just get back online for 2022?
Get back online for 2022.
Yeah,
That's the motion.
I'll support that if we communicate that to them now, because if
Tommy,
if they don't want to do that, we'll just,
Yeah.
we'll remove that advertising.
Tommy, can you do that? Can you say that to him?
Yeah, I'll call them tomorrow and say, listen, we're actually forgiving them for 2 years, for 2020 and 2021. And then in 2022, we're going back to the advertisement that you're going to pay half of the fee, which is around $260.
Right.
Okay, so there's a motion on the table, guys. We need a vote.
Seconded, or if it was already seconded.
Matera seconded.
Okay. All in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Aye. All
Thank
right.
you.
Okay.
Are you done, Tom?
Yes.
Okay. Secretary's report.
So Pete, we have a few line items, but let's move them into new business.
Okay. So, let's go with committee reports then.
Hey, Pete, aren't we
What?
supposed to accept the minutes from last meeting we didn't do?
Oh, yeah, approval of the minutes. I'm sorry.
I make a motion to accept the minutes from the last meeting.
Who seconds it?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 I'm sorry,
Okay.
Mr. Johnson, it's Sharon Fulpers, your secretary. I wasn't able to see who moved it and seconded.
Tom Matera seconded.
Okay, who moved it?
I moved it. Matt Ferry moved it.
Matt Ferry
Matterbury.
moved it.
Okay, she good? She's good.
All right. Okay,
I'm
committee
good.
reports. Let's go with Health Department.
3.98 inches of rain fell in February, compares to 3.19 a year ago, brings the total for the year to 5.75. Average over the years for February is 2.92 inches. There were 4 closures for February, all in the half-inch area. February 1st, we had 0.95 inches. February 16th, 0.78. February 22nd, 0.60, and February 27th, 0.68. One notification of bypass for the month from the sewage treatment plant on February 21st, 1,000 gallons for sodium bisulfite. That's the health department report.
Okay, wastewater treatment, we don't have anyone here, right? Water quality, Joe?
The meeting we had just before this, we discussed Save the Sound and the protocols that they have for their next report, and what we did not like about the report that they had for 2020. And we're hoping that they make a change in order for us not to have an F rating in the upper harbor. And Dick Harris gave a presentation on the sampling. Shellfish, spent about $5,000 doing testing where the construction was working for Chainbro. And he found that as long as they had the curtain up, there was nothing leaking out, and he was testing 6 types of heavy metals, and he found nothing was getting through, and that the sediments on the bottom were the same before testing and after testing, which was a great thing. And Diane Larcello encouraged us to look at the city budget and to see if we can get some money set aside for water quality, as well as set aside for green infrastructure. And John Crespo has started doing some of the charting of the DOT SON data. And he's doing that. He's done that in addition to what the work you guys have hired the consultant for too. That's it.
Okay, permits, Tom.
No update on the permits. The only thing I wanted to talk about, and I don't know if this is the right place, is have we decided what we're gonna do going forward for the seed permits and the other permits, fee structure, et cetera, going for this year?
We have not.
No, we haven't.
Okay.
I think usually we do it around December for the next year. Seed permits and stuff.
No, I know,
Because
but I think we should do something, so at least we're letting the companies and the vendors know what they're gonna be charged for.
Right. Well, they were supposed to come back to us when we showed them what we were talking about, and they all blew up about it. And now the other thing that I heard is what Harbor Management is proposing for commercial boats and vessels and docks, and they're going up on all theirs. They're going to start charging for all the boats that like Blooms has, the Stabell, the other side of the Blooms, Gary Whitmore, or everybody that has a vessel or anything, they're going to start charging that. So I don't know what we should do on ours.
So we don't have a formula, and I don't think we'll be able to decide one tonight. But I suggest that we do put together some type of formula independent of the harbor management's proposed harbor use fee. Captain Kramer is on the call, and Tim, if you would like to address this issue, you're certainly your commentary would be welcome, sir.
I didn't hear anything as far as fees go for vessels.
Well, you will.
This is the first
You
I
will.
heard of it.
Yeah. But no, I was just speaking more to seed permits for now, Tim.
A seed permit, there's not much seed out there. We haven't had a good, like a set in the last couple of years. So it's like we're just scratching out there.
And so my suggestion would be for us to put together some type of formula for next month and then vote on it and just have it proactive to January 1st.
Okay.
Yeah. We got to work on something. And that was on permits. So we're going to work on that. We're going to have to try and talk to each other before and work something out.
Right. It shouldn't be zero.
No. Tim, I thought you guys were all going to talk together, you and Dave Hop and Norman and.
Like I said, this is the first I heard that you wanted us to talk about it. I'll actually mention it to Norman and Dave and Dougie and Mike, and I'll see where they're at. There's not a lot of product out there on your natural beds as far as oysters go. I'm sure the usual people will get the permits, but don't expect any large numbers from the product that's out there.
Tim, just thinking aloud and perhaps share this as an idea from one commissioner, that perhaps set fee, we can decide that what that would be, and then some nominal fee per bag. And I say certainly nominal, but a per bag fee would also require you guys to do some counting such that we would have, the relative changes of the seed harvest year over year. And it would better enable us to make these type of formulaic decisions going forward.
Okay. I'll talk it over with the group. And I'll mention it to Dave, and I know Dave's one of the advisors. He'll come up with something and he'll get back to you guys.
Thanks, Tim.
Okay.
All right. How about police?
Pete and I, either one of us, make sure we go through the beach at least once a day, depending on the tide. Pete's been checking Rowayton on a regular basis. We've been trying to start the Shellfish boat, as often as we can. And to be quite honest, I got to keep pumping the fuel to keep it running. So someone wants to come down and take it out for a spin, feel free.
Probably what it needs.
So
We're
other than
talking
that,
about trying to go one of these weekends, but looks like
Yeah.
something comes up every time.
the other day would have been perfect to go out, but it's a weekday. So hopefully we can get a day on the weekend like the other day.
Well, they say next week's gonna be all nice, so
Okay.
maybe we can get out.
All right, other than that, we're just waiting for the season to start.
Okay. Advisory. And he's not here because he don't know how to Zoom, so. Anybody know what the water temperature is?
Mid-30s,
Mid-30s? Wow.
35.
Holy smokes, that's cold.
Yeah, why don't you jump in?
The cold wind, boy. Let me that wind blows. It is cold.
Yeah. Okay, harbor management. Who do you have for harbor management? Jeff?
Well, might mention, Pete, that the harbor fees that you were talking about by the Harbor Commission, any new fees require approval from the Common Council. So right now, they're proposals, and that one of the models that was being looked at is the way the 5 Mile River Commission collects fees now or uses fees, and that any new fees would be reserved for, I don't think it's right to call them harbor use fees. You don't charge someone a fee for using the harbor, but harbor management or harbor maintenance fees that would go into a dedicated fund for constructing public improvements, like the 5 Mile River Commission does. That's in the city code now for the 5 Mile River Commission. So this is still something that has to be presented to the Common Council for approval. And then on the DOT and the Eversource, no one's heard anything about the status of the Eversource project. And so I guess it might be for the commission, a good thing for the commission to write another letter to Eversource and ask them for some sort of a report or update. And regarding the DOT project, there was a long discussion about the proposed DOT's proposed vessel relocation plan. And it was agreed by the harbor master with the support of the police department and the Harbor Management Commission that the DOT proposal to continue at times to operate passenger vessels between the bridges is not acceptable, and that they should focus their attention on their site B or site 2, which is would be down at 90 Water Street. So that's going to be to be transmitted to DEEP and the DOT about that. But that's the only those are the main things, I guess, report on. Thanks, Pete.
Okay. Accept the committee reports. Make a motion to accept committee reports. Someone?
So moved.
Second? All in favor? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, old business. What do we have
Who
for
is all
old
that-
business? Huh?
Who has all that static in the background?
You mean the noise?
Yeah. I know it's not me.
It's my grandchildren and my son and his wife. My daughter-in-law. She's from Staten Island.
Oh, they're quiet now, so we brought it to their attention. Now we're good.
Okay, thank you. Old business. We got anything that bring up old business?
I think so.
I mean, we already know about Eversource and all that, so. How about new business?
So, yeah,
Steve?
yeah, so there is. So, on the day of our last meeting, there were 3 applications from Mr. Hiltz, 38 Yarmouth Road, 165 Gregory Boulevard, and 13 River Drive. The last 2 really pertain to us because they are subtitle. Last week, the Norfolk Harbor Management Commission tabled the 2 that would apply to us for questions, for clarification and just more info. I was wondering perhaps if Mr. Stedman could speak to the questions that went out to those 2 applicants. And I think it's important that those questions get answered because I think just doing a site inspection now before those questions are answered kind of just makes it a moot point.
The Charles Creek application, Steve, that there's a navigation fairway that's been designated in Charles Creek, and that's according to the dredged channel that is permitted by the private channel permitted by DEEP. And so the proposal for the Charles Creek dock has it avoids the dredged channel, but it shows a boat right up to the edge of the channel, and it shows the dock, the floating dock in the side slope of the channel, and it doesn't show any other docks to the north, which, and there are some. I think, did you see the photo I sent, Steve?
I did.
Yeah. So we were asking if it's possible to pull the dock back a little closer to shore so that it's not in the sides, the dredge side slope of the channel. I think that was the principal question there. And those drawings are interesting because they're not prepared by a professional engineer. So there's no stamp or seal on them. And which I don't believe is, it's not required by DEEP for those residential applications. But then it still calls into question the accuracy of but we're making our decision based on the drawing presented to us.
Right.
So we asked for additional information about why it can't be pulled back a little closer to the shore to be out of the dredged setback, the side slope.
So thanks, Jeff. And I'd move that we also table these just pending answers Harbor. And also this information wasn't received in hard copy that I requested immediately at the health department until last Thursday. And Tom very rapidly forwarded them and I did receive them. But, you know, Mr. Hiltz took a little bit too long for us to schedule a visit, and I'm frankly not printing out things to pass out at the site visits. That's beyond our JD for this.
So should we make a motion to table it
Yeah, so moved.
till who's second? All in favor? Aye.
Okay, also next, vis-a-vis 26 Shorefront Park. You may be familiar with the jetty that had numerous violations, or the groin that had numerous violations there. going back to 2019. The state has asked our opinion regarding potential dredging at the site. And I would like to move that we oppose any dredging vociferously, that due to damage to the coastal resources and due to damage to the natural, very active oyster beds that are in very close proximity. And that's just not acceptable and is a non-starter from this commission. And I'd actually further move to suggest that since those vessels do sit on the bottom, that they be either removed during the low tide cycle to a mooring, or that some cradle type structure keeps them off the bottom at the lowest tide cycle.
All in favor of something like that be sent to them?
Don't have a second.
Second,
Or I should say, make a motion to send our form of not allowing them to dredge due to the shellfish area is, well, we sent pictures, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah, so, and we'll include our pictures of where the shellfish are. That will be, I don't know. Steve, you'll write it up.
Yeah. And
Someone
this
want to
is-
make a motion?
I did. And
Okay, second it?
Seconded by modifier, yeah.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. So we'll send a letter to them, and I'd send the pictures again too.
Okay.
Good. You know what I mean?
Yep. And then lastly, back on this harbor fee being proposed and worked on in committee for the Harbor Commission. So they did ask my opinion about it. And the first proposal that they came out with out of the committee was $1,000 per shellfishing company. And I said that that was essentially unfair due to the wide disparity of the number of boats that the companies float, and that something more along the lines of a per vessel fee would be more appropriate. So today, I did get back from Commissioner Mengels that their current proposal is $100 per vessel per year. I think just with a few hours to think about it, that sounds reasonable. And let's see where that goes from here. And just FYI, in terms of Jeff's earlier point, I mean, my 18-foot center console on the 5 Mile River cost me $150. So $100 doesn't seem so bad.
Timmy, what do you think about that, Tim?
I was just thinking to myself, this is harbor use. That's why we're going to be charged, right?
I don't know what they're going to call it, Tim. In Rowayton, we call it the harbor use fee.
How about all the rowers? Are they all going to have to pay for all their little sculls?
Yeah, so I mean, the bottom line is the commission's looking up and down the river at everything that floats right now.
Yeah, well, if they, if everybody has to pay, and how much money are they trying to raise, and you have all these boat clubs with all the boats, and you have all the rowers, you have the people sailing the boats, the little sailboats. This is the first I heard of it. $100 is not bad though, as long as everybody pays it. Does that include?
And that was going to be my other question. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Does that include like the windsurfers, the jet skis?
Yeah, I can't speak to their specific policy. I don't know how small of a vessel they go. That's not the case in the 5 Mile River, but I don't know how close they're going to follow our model in the final analysis.
The one thing I don't understand, how about the people that come and put their boats in the water at the dock?
Yeah,
What do we do with them?
so it's my understanding this will be docked and moored vessels throughout the harbor.
Oh, dock and moored. Okay.
So people that bring their boat and put it in for the day and then leave,
Yeah, they're already charged a fee.
are they?
Yeah,
Not if you're a city resident, it isn't.
$25 sticker.
Yeah, that's it for the year, 25 bucks.
Right. So right
Yeah.
now they're around $35 per dock per year.
Okay.
Steve, did they say why they were looking to raise the money or what the money will be raised for? And who would enforce it? And if someone didn't pay, what the penalties were, what the ramifications are?
So
You have to go to, go to Jeff on that one.
yeah, so the latter obviously hasn't been decided, and it would be a function of whether or not this was a city ordinance, and we all know the department that follows up on violations of city ordinances. But the main reason to do this is because municipalities are going to need, in quote, skin in the game as far as dredging revenue is concerned. This dredging from here on, as far as we know, isn't going to be a thing where the entire bill is paid by someone else.
The other thing that gets me though is this money can't go in the general fund. We'll
Yeah.
never see it. It's gotta be targeted for the dredging. I think,
Well, and that should be, if it's going to be earmarked just for dredging, then that should be stated up front.
I agree.
If it's a city code violation, the city code enforcement officer has been laid off.
Well, it looks like you gotta do it
Well, thanks, Pete. That was-
anytime.
Doesn't that fall back on Parks and Rec or no?
No, I think it's an actual city hall position. It was one of our retired guys. Because I called him with a problem I was having with the city code, and he said, are you just trying to give me a hard time? I go, what do you mean? He says, I just got laid off last week.
Kidding me.
No,
Who made that decision? Anthony Carr?
Dad, I don't know. I just know it's, as of right now, my understanding is that the position's been laid off.
That's crazy. So who's it gonna drop down to? That's ridiculous. There's no one who's gonna answer it? Who's gonna handle that?
Well, according to Pete, it's going to be me.
Yeah, but Pete's just busting your chops.
I think that's a little above my pay grade.
I don't know. Who can give us the answer for that, guys?
Why don't you ask the mayor?
But how about King? Isn't she, can she answer that for us? What's the mayor's, what position is that in the mayor's office? Or Alicia King? Can someone answer us?
They should.
Yeah, they should.
I mean, whose decision was it to get rid of them?
That's crazy. Mike, was he making a lot of money? What was he making? Probably like 15 bucks an hour?
It was Eddie Schwartz.
Oh, okay.
And
that's
that position was part-time. That he was only working 20 hours a week to begin with.
Oh, okay. So they eliminated his 20 hours.
Someone should answer that. Someone should help us out with that. That's ridiculous. How many grandkids does Peter have? He's giving all these kisses.
That was my
Okay, let's
daughter-in-law.
continue. Let's go.
Okay. What else, Steve?
Nothing from me, sir.
Okay, our next meeting will be April 1st. Am I right?
Yeah, but Pete, I have something to say. We're stuck here. And we kind of joked about Michael taking that over, but we need answers. What are we going to do with it? Just let it go?
No. But I think that's, I don't know who we're gonna get a hold of. You mean someone should go to town hall and figure out who?
Well, the whole way, you're not going to get anywhere at town hall
No.
unless you have an appointment, unless someone comes down and sees you. I mean, it's ridiculous. Can we put something in the minutes about that? Tom, Cluster, can we do anything?
I can make a note of it in the minutes, which I will do, but Pete, I just want to let you know that the posted agenda reads that your next meeting is on April 4th, which according to my calendar is a Sunday.
Yeah,
it's
April
the
1st is a
first.
Thursday.
It's the
That's
first.
fine, but you may want to contact somebody. When you talk to City Hall, you may want to let them know that that's wrong.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll try and talk to City Hall. I mean, I don't know what else to do.
That's all you can do.
Code enforcement officer. They did away with him.
Yeah, I needed him to help me out with something, and he actually thought I was calling to break his stones.
Well, who does it now? No one?
He said he got laid off, so I don't know if they laid him off. I can't imagine that somebody else is doing it.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'll call tomorrow and see if I can get something. Or make an appointment with someone. You know what I mean?
Peter, these guys may want to be aware of what's going on in Greenwich that the Harbor Commission was talking about with the judge. And how basically the Harbor Commission ruled on something and the judge down there did not agree with it and basically overrode what the Harbor Commission said. And it's apparently now a lot of
Litigation now, I think.
yeah.
So
So
I
everything.
know, is it Jeff and Steve? Did you get involved in that?
So, yeah, so there'll be an effort made to legislate something such that the statute is more clear, although I think it's pretty clear now. And obviously, per litigation, it's moving on through the court system. Jeff,
You want me to,
if you
Give
wanted
a
to add
little
any, if you want
what's-
to add anything.
well, just that the Harbor Commission's recommendations and findings can be supportive of protecting shellfish resources, just like you're talking about with this proposed dredging project at Shorefront Park. So the judge's decision went, I won't go into all the background of it, but the judge found that the Harbor Commission has no authority to make recommendations concerning deep permits. And that went beyond saying that the Harbor Commission's recommendations aren't binding, but also went on to say the commission has no authority to even make recommendations. And that's contrary to, the 30 plus years of harbor management work. So the case is being appealed, and there's also unanimous support for a legislative change to clarify that the statute provides for that role by the Harbor Commission now. So the Harbor Management Plan has a number of provisions to protect shellfish resources and shellfishing opportunities. And so if you eliminate the Harbor Commission's authority to make recommendations on deep permits, you lose a lot of you lose local control. You lose local control and a home rule. So that's what the issue is that trying to address.
Thanks, Jeff.
Hey, Tommy, when do you think we're gonna start actually meeting in person instead of Zoom? Just curious. The governor just opened up a lot of different possibilities.
I don't have that answer, Joe. Depends on when the city hall is going to reopen for the public to meet in the buildings and for the commission to meet.
Okay. Just curious.
How many people have gotten their vaccines?
I did.
2 of them.
I did.
How many people have 2 of them?
I did.
Joey, how about you? Surely, 1.
The second Moderna is a doozy.
Is it really?
It wasn't fun.
My
The
wife
Pfizer
goes.
from-
My wife goes for the Johnson & Johnson, 1 shot.
What do you have stock in that company?
I wish. But she goes, Trumbull, she's got to go.
He
Stephen,
used a
were
lot
you-
of
were
baby
you-
powder.
Wow. Stephen, were you laid up with the second shot?
Yeah, I was hammered by that. It's awful. A lot of people are hit by that second Moderna. The speculation is if you've been exposed to the virus in the past as well, and I certainly was.
So that's Moderna. No. All right. Anything else,
Okay.
Commissioner, there?
You want to,
I make a motion to adjourn.
make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
See you the 1st. Oh,
Night, guys.
we got to talk. Well, we can talk one day about, and then bring it up at the meeting for permits and stuff. Okay?
Yeah, we need to have some formulas on the table between now and the next meeting so we can
Right.
just kick it around.
So we'll kick it around and figure out. And I'll
Okay.
call town hall tomorrow and see if I can find something. All right, guys,
Thank you. Everyone enjoy
Thank you, guys.
yourself.
have
Stay
fun.
healthy.
Good night.
Bye.
guys.
Stay healthy.
Oh, you behave yourself.
Bye.
Here.
Nick, bye Joey, bye Michael, bye there. Joey.
Behave yourself,
Bye,
Joe.
Mike. Joe, I always do. No walk Zoom. Michael's still on. He's out. Jeff's out.